Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Retired Shelley Chisholm. More importantly, I'm Maddie's aunt. Maddie is a fourth grader here at Dr. S.G. Knight. Veterans, students, teachers, administrators, parents, friends, and family, thank you for having me here today. I am truly honored to have the opportunity to speak to you today. Veterans Day is a special holiday that honors all those who have served and are currently serving in the military. Just some brief history. World War I was fought by many countries for 5 years, beginning in 1914 and ending in 1918. The United States fought in this war from 1917 to 1918. In 1918, at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, that is at 11 o'clock on November 11th, the warring countries signed an agreement called an armistice that brought the war to an end. On that day, people throughout the world were happy and celebrated because no one else would get hurt or die in the war, and loved ones would be coming home. People went out in the streets, danced and laughed, and they blew horns and whistles and sang songs. The people at that time thought there would be no more wars. In fact, World War I was nicknamed the war to end all wars. United States President Woodrow Wilson made November 11th a holiday called Armistice Day to honor all the heroes that died in World War I. Over time, the name of the holiday was changed to Veterans Day, and the purpose of this day was changed to honor all who have served and are serving in the United States Armed Forces. What is a veteran? A veteran is anyone who has served in the military. The military, also known as the Armed Forces, has 5 branches. These branches are Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Together, all 5 branches of the military defend our freedom on land, on the sea, in the air, and cyberspace. You may ask me why I joined the Army. My family has a long history of folks that have served in the military. It is kind of the family business. I've seen firsthand the honor of serving your country, the military values, the opportunities, the travels, and lifelong friendships that are forged through the military. My grandfather, Chief Warrant Officer Toby Karnowski, served over 30 years and in World War II. My father, Colonel Leslie Chisholm, served over 30 years and in Vietnam. My brother, Sergeant First Class Lance Chisholm, served over 20 years in the Minnesota National Guard. My sister, Lieutenant Colonel Dana Chisholm Kringstad, and her husband, First Sergeant Dane Kringstad, have both served over 20 years in the Minnesota National Guard, and Dane deployed to Iraq. And my little brother, Senior Airman Lee Chisholm, Maddie's dad, served over 10 years in the Minnesota and Texas National Guard. My service was initiated during my senior year at Little Falls Community High School. I applied for an Army 4-year scholarship, and I was fortunate enough to receive the scholarship, which paid for my college education. That was my first real introduction to the military. I graduated from the University of Wisconsin and was commissioned a second lieutenant. During my time in the military, I held a wide variety of staff and command positions. I had assignments in Georgia, Oklahoma, Korea, Washington State, Germany, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Afghanistan, and Florida. My favorite assignment was as a company commander in Germany, where I was able to make the most impact on my troops and not be tied to a desk. My last assignment was at U.S. Central Command in Tampa, Florida. I served as the Policy Division Chief and Deputy Commander's Executive Officer. Finally, I served as the Deputy for the Coalition Coordination Center, with over 62 nations coordinating their training and equipping for the nations deploying units to Afghanistan and the Middle East. I spent nearly 28 years in the military, and I have to tell you, the worst part was being away from my family. I'm sure every veteran and veteran's family can relate to that, having experienced it themselves. Right now, as we gather today, thousands of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardmen are on the job around the world protecting America. As a soldier, my thoughts turn today to the Army soldiers who are deployed around the world. These soldiers are on the ground in Afghanistan and the Middle East. They will be there when we are sleeping tonight. They'll be there every Saturday, every Sunday, every holiday this year. And they will be missing their family, friends, and loved ones back home. It is important to recognize veterans. We want to remember honoring those who have served isn't about what we say here today. It is about how we honor our veterans every day of the year. It is about remaining committed to supporting them and their families in every way that we possibly can. It is about serving them as well as they have served and continue to serve our nation. That is the sacred trust between America and all who defend its ideals. Something special you could do on Veterans Day is to ask your family if there are any veterans you know that you can thank. That is the best way to celebrate Veterans Day. Remember both those who have served in the military and defended your freedom and those serving now. On Veterans Day, we have to have a special opportunity to say thank you. The more we talk about what we do and the impact military service has on our lives, the better we are to hold it up as an example of excellence. For those veterans here today, please share your story with others. Let folks know what you have done, and so they can see the many faces of military service and appreciate the personal service of their neighbors. 3 things I would ask you to take away today. 1, Veterans Day honors all those who have served and are currently serving the United States military. 2, it's always on November 11th. And 3, if you see or know a veteran, please thank them for their service. It has been my honor to speak with you today. To all the veterans here today, I sincerely thank you for your service and sacrifice. I share the pride you feel in being able to say you've served in the greatest military in the world. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless this great nation. Thank you.